If you've ever been confused and maybe hurt, disappointed or disillusioned by Christians that don't live like Jesus, you're not alone. Jesus didn't like it when people claimed one thing and lived another. In fact, when you look at the Gospels, Jesus never spoke more harshly about anyone or anything than he did those that he called hypocrites. In fact, in Matthew chapter 23, there's what theologians call the 7 woes. 7 different times Jesus said, woe to those who are claiming one thing and living something else. This is what he said in verse 27. He said, what sorrow awaits you, teachers of religious law, and you Pharisees. Then he calls them hypocrites. Now watch what he says. For you are like whitewashed tombs, beautiful on the outside, but filled on the inside with dead people's bones and all sorts of impurity. You're putting on a good show, but on the inside you're filthy and you're so far from God. He said, outwardly, you look like righteous people, but inwardly, your hearts are filled with hypocrisy and lawlessness. 17 different times in the Bible, you'll see the word hypocrite. Every time you see the word hypocrite, Jesus used the word hypocrite. And every time Jesus used the word hypocrite, he was correcting those who claimed one thing and lived another. Interestingly enough, Jesus was the first person to use the word hypocrite in this context. Originally, this was a word that you would have thought of in the Greek actors' society, where the actors would be called Hippocrates, which was they put on a mask, and they would act like one character, and they put on a different mask to act like another. And this was the first time that anyone, to our knowledge, used the word hypocrite outside of the context of the theater. And Jesus was saying, hey, when you're giving to be seen, you're a hypocrite. Whenever you're fasting to impress, look how holy I am, you're a hypocrite. When you're praying to be heard, you're a hypocrite. And Jesus had zero tolerance for hypocrites. What's interesting, he wasn't calling out their sin. What he was calling out was their show. He didn't say, woe to those of you who watch really bad shows on Netflix. He said, woe to you who are hypocrites. Woe to you that do the wrong things, but act like you don't. And in Matthew 23, verse 33, he said, you snakes, you brood of vipers, how will you escape being condemned to hell? If you've ever been frustrated by those who claim one thing and live something else, Jesus was frustrated by it too.